Today, October 1, marks the reunification of Cameroon following the 11th of February plebiscite, where the former territory of British Southern Cameroon, today the Northwest and Southwest regions, voted to join the Republic of Cameroon in that plebiscite supervised by the United Nations Organization. An event which has cemented the reunification of Cameroon. In this newscast, we shall be hearing from a political scientist and a historian on the significance of this day to the history of Cameroon. And we take you to Kumba, where it was all a ghost town as the population was indoors on this day. Also in this newscast, education authorities are fine-tuning preparations for a smooth start of the 2020-2021 academic year, but these preparations are ongoing when the General Certificate of Education, the GCE, is here to come out. How are schools preparing to deal with the situation? We hear from them in this newscast. Those are top stories. Good evening and thanks for joining us. You're watching the Primetime Newscast on STV. Today, the 1st of October, marks the reunification of Cameroon following the UN plebiscite, where the former territory of British Southern Cameroon, today the Northwest and Southwest regions, voted to cement their unity with the Republic of Cameroon. It is a day that has been taken by separatist fighters as their Independence Day for what they believe is their breakaway state. In the town of Kumba in Meme Division today, like most parts of the Northwest and Southwest regions, the entire two English-speaking regions witnessed ghost towns as cars as movement was limited, while inhabitants stayed indoors. Taxis, commercial motorbikes and travel agencies were all grounded. However, reports from Kumba say that the population was indoors due to fear of clashes between separatist fighters and military forces in that part of the country. And the 1st of October, like it is said, marks a significant era in the history of Cameroon due to its reunification significance, but this day has so far been neglected by the ruling authorities, as some historians lament. Our reporter Ladonet only spoke to Professor Elvis Ngolengole, a professor of political science, and a senior historian, Professor William Zengwa. Let's have their reactions.
But then the most important day between the two entities is the 1st of October, 1961, because that is the day the two entities officially reunified, agreed to come together based on a federal status quo. So the two entities, two peoples who spoke two different languages, two cultures, two educational systems, two legislations, two legal systems came together to become one under a federal status quo. That is the significance of that date. But historical evolution warranted that these dates should not be celebrated because they needed a middle point. That is why we got 20th of May, 1920, and 20th of May being celebrated as a fourth important day in the history of Cameroon. But unfortunately, political evolution made it to that by 1984, 85, the name of the country was changed to the Republic of Cameroon. It got many interpretations. It simply meant that either the Republic of Cameroon that achieved independence in 1960 had seceded or has assimilated that other part of the country which achieved independence separately. And that began the struggle for recognition.
There are some voices out there which are giving a wrong reading, a wrong interpretation, either as a result of bad faith or because they are frustrated or because they are ignorant or because they just want to give trouble, giving a political significance to 1st of October which it doesn't have. These voices, because I also read social media and others, and the audio and televised media and sometimes electronic media, They give a false political significance to 1st of October by saying that 1st of October is the date of the independence of a part of Cameroon, the territory that they called Southern Cameroon. No. There has never been in any history an independence date for any part of Cameroon on the 1st of October. None ever. No history book records that. And besides, as a political scientist, I say this because we teach it in our classes, in the universities, and I think in secondary and high schools. No country in the world has more than one date of independence. There can only be, and there has always been only one date of independence. And in the case of Cameroon, the only independence day is 1st of January 1960. But that independence was completed with the joining of the former territory of British Southern Cameroon, which had voluntarily and in a fraternal way.
Stakeholders in the secondary education sector in the Littoral region are fine-tuning strategies to ensure a hitch-free start of the 2020-2021 school year. The regional delegate of secondary education for the Littoral region has met with principals of the Vori division to discuss the implementation of ministerial decisions regarding the upcoming school year. This meeting follows that which involved principals from the Incam and the Sanaga Maritime Division. Let's have the details with Lazonet Oni.
Protecting the students amidst the COVID-19 health crisis and ensuring their mental health is the agenda for the sectoral meeting held today, 1st October 2020, in the economic capital, Douala. The meeting was held by the Littoral Regional Delegate for Secondary Education, Ns Ejangiu, together with some principals in the Wuri subdivision. The ministerial decision on midday system of schooling was tabled with barrier measures against COVID-19 strongly emphasized.
That we were forced to do the launching at the level of the regional delegate on 2 occasions. The first one took place on Tuesday, with the Mungo, the Nkam, and Sanaga Maritime Division. Today we are with the principals of the Vuri Division. Then, so far as we have discussed and according to the hierarchy, all the schools should maintain the barrier measures so as to make the school places safe places to avoid COVID-19. Apart from the fighting against COVID-19, with all the barrier measures, washing hand points, hand sanitizers, and other things like wearing the mask, which is not compulsory. Then in this various school, the principal should do everything for the first 2 or 3 weeks to talk to the student with the guidance counselor around, and then to put the student in possibility to have a better year this time. That's what we have decided, to help them to reach the end of the year in good situation.
The COVID-19 won't exist in school milieux as different barrier measures have been put in place.
Nous avons essayé de multiplier encore les points de lavage de mains. Et également au niveau des collaborateurs,
we have multiplied our wash hand posts. We have put at the disposition of teachers face masks, and we will use our thermoflash to test the temperature of anyone coming into the campus. We have built a health dispensary. If we detect a case, he or she will be sent to the health center, then taken to the screening center in Bonasama.
Signal, l'infirmerie récupère directement et on transmet directement au niveau de l'hôpital de Bonasama.
Amongst the principals present is the principal of Government Bilingual High School, Deido, Yvette Mukete, who promises to implement all the barrier measures prescribed.
Sector conference meeting here in Jos to prepare the school year, the school academic year. So what awaiting us is we are going to take all the dispositions so that the academic year will...
School Deido, Yvette Mukete, who promises to implement all the barrier measures prescribed.
Sector conference meeting here in Jos to prepare the school year, the school academic year. So what awaiting us is we are going to take all the dispositions so that the academic year will run well. For example, the disposition against COVID-19, the disposition in classrooms, and many others.
The first sectoral meeting was held with the different principals of the Senegal Maritime and CAM subdivision on Tuesday, 29th August. With just 4 days to the resumption of the 2020-2021 school year, school authorities, together with the government, are crossing all T's as well as dotting all I's so as to ensure a successful academic year.
Barely 4 days to the start of the 2020-2021 academic year, candidates who wrote the GCE ordinary and advanced levels are still awaiting the release of the results. While they have been caught up in anxiety, school authorities are mapping out strategies to continue the academic year hitch-free. They told our reporter Laudonette Oni in this report.
All eyes are on the General Certificate of Education Board to publish the results of the GCE Ordinary and Advanced Level Education before the 5th of October 2020. With just few days to the resumption day, the bothering question in the minds of individuals is if the resumption for GCE candidate will be postponed.
We cannot rush into conclusions that we may postpone their resumption date. Yeah, we are still with 4 days before school resumption, so our fingers are still crossed while waiting for the GCE board and for the Ministry of Secondary Education to see into it that maybe results are being published. Okay. Why not today or tomorrow?
As they await the results, Form 5 students will be allowed to continue in lower seat on tentative registration.
Waiting for results before this weekend. So if results are not released before the 5th of October, which is resumption day, that is when we are going to step in with our plan B on how to work with our students. Actually, they wrote their exams, they can resume their school normally and they'll start their school. Why not be even in lower seat and they start studying? There is nothing that is going to be of great impact in their study life. For example, those that are succeeding the GCE, they are supposed to be in lower seat. If they start studying in lower seat, I'm not seeing anything difficult or bad as per that. That is just like a plan B. But actually, we're optimistic that results, we trust the competencies of the GCE board. They're up to the task. Results will soon be released.
All fingers are crossed as there is a great chance of these results being published before the 5th of October.
And while the strategies are being put in place, registration in some schools in the economic capital remains timid with barely a few days to kick off of the academic year. The situation is being blamed on the coronavirus and the difficult financial situation of many households. Details with Katrin Kone.
The abrupt shutdown of schools in March following the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic in Cameroon has created confusion among some parents in the city of Douala, who due to no fault of theirs are being asked to complete school fees of last academic year.
Quand on a arrêté le cours en mars, beaucoup de parents ont cru que puisqu'on a arrêté le cours, le reste d'argent de la scolarité, ils ne devaient plus payer. C'est pour ça que vous voyez à côté là, vous voyez les bulletins qui sont à côté. Ce sont les bulletins de l'année dernière. Les parents ne veulent pas finir la scolarité pour payer, pour prendre pas les bulletins. Bon, il y en a qui viennent pleurer, on leur donne ça comme ça.
At other school campuses, the turnout of registration this school year has taken a different phase.
Our parents have already started coming to register their children for the next coming school year, academic year, that is 2020-2021 academic year. I think parents are rushing to register their children because you know the last academic year, because of the virus that was out, disturbed children from the schooling. So some of the parents are eager to register their children, so they are fastly coming. Price has changed, that is we have increased like 5% of our school fees, of the usual school fees. The proprietor has a system of his school. He used to add the school fees about after 2 to 3 years. So I think this year is a 4th year since he lastly added the school fees.
While many are clamoring and gearing up to an effective kick-off of the new school year, others are still hoping the registration process will pick steam as the countdown to the 2020-2021 academic year dies down.
Participants of Youth Connect, a youth empowerment program of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, have today received their end-of-course attestations in a ceremony in Douala today. That event was chaired by the Governor of the Littoral Region, Samuel Jidone Ivaha Diboa. Let's have the details with Christelle Asexwele.
Participants of the Entrepreneurship Network Training Workshop baptized We Connect Littoral received their certificates of participation today, October 1, 2020, in a ceremony presided over by the Governor of the Littoral Region, Samuel Ivaha Diboa. It is a real pleasure for me to preside over this closing ceremony of the training workshop of youths on management of funds and entrepreneurship, leadership and personal development. This workshop, organized by the Ministry of Youth and Education, supported by the United Nations Program Funds, provided principles of fund management and entrepreneurship to the participants who are excited to put this knowledge into practice.
Accéléré, on nous a appris beaucoup de choses, comment entreprendre. We
learned a lot here, how to be enterprising and a leader, as well as how to create an enterprise. We were also taught to be determined, focused, and have a vision, and be self-confident. I am going to cultivate a farm of papaya and transform into juice.
Je compte créer un champ de papaye, cultiver des papayes et les transformer en jus de papaye.
I did a restoration. It takes us at least 10 days. We did cooking, we cook food and all the like. To be a very big entrepreneur for at least to help myself and my family.
As for the ambassador of this project, Françoise Poinet, it's a feeling of satisfaction that animates her as her expectations and objectives have been met.
Simplement à donner un nouveau sens à ma vie, le bonheur du prochain. C'est tout ce qui m'anime, donner ce sens à ma vie.
This gives me fulfillment and a different meaning to life. The happiness of others, that's my satisfaction right now. I prefer helping others rather than lavishing wealth on myself. I was elated by the recognition of the government of my work by making me the ambassador of this project.
Le gouvernement du Cameroun a reconnu donc ce travail que je fais sur le terrain depuis pratiquement 5 ans maintenant, en faisant donc de moi que l'ambassadrice de Youth Connect.
This training and workshop program ran from September 21 to September 30 in Douala, economic capital of Cameroon.
Out of the country, the first U.S. presidential debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden resembled more of a shouting match than a structural exchange of ideas. Analysts say that the chaotic outcome of the first meeting is a reflection of the country's deep political divide. Details with the VOA.
Social media exploded with memes during the first presidential debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden, with many viewers characterizing it as childish and as old men yelling at each other.
This is a left-wing problem. This is radical left.
Would you shut up, man?
There were plenty of personal insults.
Yeah, there's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Listen, you're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
The kinds of things that we saw last night in the debate are exactly the kinds of things that erode democracy, that in fact our democracy is at risk. And you can tell by the way that political leaders talk to one another.
Discussions about the pandemic, economic recovery and racial unrest were drowned out by insults and interruptions, and shocking moments such as when the president refused to denounce white supremacists.
Who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our
Proud Boys, a far-right group that engages in political violence, celebrated the president's remarks and created online memes with his answer. On Wednesday, Trump said he does not know who they are.
Over 200,000 dead, 14 million jobs lost, and Donald Trump spent an entire debate blaming others.
The Biden campaign launched a post-debate digital ad blitz highlighting Trump's remarks, while the Trump campaign claimed that the moderator and the media treated Trump unfairly in the debate and that Biden is weak.
Joe Biden, who was put on his heels most of the time, spent a lot of time looking around for assistance from the moderator and sort of looking around for someone to bail him out.
Initial polls show that the chaotic debate did little to sway voters.
It was very disappointing for American democracy and in the country as a whole. It was embarrassing, to be honest with you.
As campaigning enters its final weeks, both campaigns are trying to find voters they can still win over in the key swing states seen as most likely to affect the results. The remaining 2 presidential debates and 1 vice presidential debate are scheduled in October. Patsy Rita Kuswara, VOA News.
Let's talk sports football. Members of the local organizing committee of the African Nations Championships, the CHAN, are on a working visit to the local sites to host the competition. The 6-man delegation has met with members in Douala to discuss the city's readiness for the tournament. Details with John Paul Sama.
In a bid to ensure that Cameroon hosts a hitch-free African Nations Championship and the African Cup of Nations in the upcoming months, a team of 6 from the CHAN Total Cameroon 2020 are in the city of Douala to coordinate with the team on site.
We are in Douala for a mission to inform and also to sensitize those who are in charge of the organization of the next African Football Championships. And we are here to make sure that the local commissions are really aware of what they have to do with regard to the organization of this event, and also to make everyone understand where is his responsibility, his or her responsibility in the organization of this event. So our mission here is to make sure that everyone is aware of how these missions will be implemented at the local level. Even though the strategies were designed at the national level, here we are to make sure that the commissions are aware of what they have to do at the local level.
They are positive that the city and the rest of the host cities will be ready for these upcoming soccer jamborees.
So the event has to take place tomorrow. Cameroon is ready, but as you know, whenever you are receiving a visitor, sometimes it is at the eve of the event that you have to clean up the house so that when the visitor comes the following day, he should find out everything in the proper way and well prepared. So we're now working so that at the end of the day or at the eve of the event, we'll be able to clean the surroundings so that we can welcome our visitors properly.
The tournament's organizers will continue their visit in the upcoming dates to the Boya and Limbe site before finishing in Yaoundé.
In the meantime, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education has ordered heads of sports federations in the country to carry on with their championships. Professor Narcisse Mwele-Kombi has also added that the number of persons should not exceed 200. This decision has been triggering a lot of reactions. Our reporter John Paul Sama spoke to Samuel Dale, the president of Ajesak Football Club in Douala. Let's listen to it.
It's a good thing because the player will begin to play begin the competition. We are happy to the new youths. Well, we are saying thank you of the minister of the Cameroon, the government, Cameroon. We are tell thank you.
Before we go, let's have this advertorial from EUG.
With the intentions of giving out adequate information, the best career and field of studies orientations to graduates, aspiring students and parents of its institution, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea is organizing in its campus an academic orientation workshop to assist parents, students and graduates make the best choices in selecting their fields of study or career.
A lot of students, most often than not after advanced level or their baccalaureate, has a problem choosing a career. And so at the level of orientation, you might have come here with a particular idea on a particular issue to do. In IUG, we let you fit into what the society demands. And notwithstanding, in IUG, since we train professionals, that one individual, one job, there is a possibility to give an adequate training that rhymes with the career of that particular individual. So the orientation workshop, which continues from now till the end of the month of November, is made to give students, likewise international students who are out of Cameroon or within the CEMAC zone, who intend to carry out their studies here, will give them the background.
This orientation, which will run from now till November 2020, is open to students in Cameroon and the sub-Saharan African regions within the CEMAC zone.
IUG is not just a school for Cameroonians, it is equally a school for the economic zone of CEMAC, and again internationally, owing to the fact that we have a lot of other agreements with international universities like the University of Montpellier, with Colmar, and we look extending into new grounds like the UK, where other more partnerships will favor those who are doing the English programs.
Situated at Ndokoti in the Douala 3 municipality, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea is a group of 3 schools of higher institutions which offers the following fields of studies: commerce and management, communication and information, industry and new technology, with an information and communication technology center under construction to accommodate students in the best conditions possible. A pre-medical science field of studies with a well-equipped medical center, all located around the same campus. Being one of the best and most prestigious private higher institutions in Cameroon, IUG offers trainings of international standards as far as the content of the programs are concerned, with a qualified and well-trained staff to go with. Admissions are currently ongoing at the campus of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea. For more information, contact the school at the following numbers: 233-375060, 233-375058, or 691-143731.
And that does it for the Primetime Newscast on STV. Thank you very much for watching. More news comes up at 8 p.m. in the French language, and programs continue on STV. Have a good night.